Hello, everyone, and welcome to In the Trenches. I'm your host, Riley, here with co-host Jaden
What's up?
and Tristan.
Yes, sir.
We're going to start here with a little rundown of what happened in college this week. Utah beat Washington State, NC State beat Virginia Tech, Georgia dominated against Florida, and at halftime it was a little bit of a close one. Florida scored about, 17, 20 unanswered points. Ohio State beats Penn State 44-31. Tennessee dominates Kentucky. Michigan beats Michigan State. And after the game, in the tunnel, Michigan State players assaulted a Michigan player, and now the Michigan player is getting a lawyer and will be prosecuting those Michigan State players. This is the first time Michigan State has lost against Michigan with their head coach. TCU stays undefeated against West Virginia, winning 41-31. Oregon beats California. Kansas State dominates Oklahoma State, has a perfect game, 48-0 final score. Wake Forest gets upset by Louisville, 48-21. USC beats Arizona, 45-37. UCLA beats Stanford, 38-13. Ole Miss wins a close one against Texas A&M. Notre Dame upsets Syracuse, 41-28. Cincinnati gets upset by UCF, who is now ranked 25th. North Carolina beats Pittsburgh, and Missouri upsets South Carolina 23-10. Now moving on to the NFL, we're going to start with Thursday Night Football as the Ravens beat the Buccaneers 27-22. What are y'all thoughts about the game?
I think Tom Brady's era is over. This is his last year. This should have been his. He should have never came back from retirement. He's officially been divorced. He is sad. Mans is not. He's not where he used to be. So in my opinion, I think this might be like the first year where both Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady don't get into the playoffs, and just because the Bucs seem to be completely losing it. But the Ravens, Ravens are, they're doing their thing. I think their losses are a lot of chokes, but pretty much. But the Ravens, they look pretty good for the most part. They just need to stop letting up. And if they just played through the entire game, and then now they have Roquan Smith, it's like they can still push forward and come out of on top of their division. But again, you just have to stop letting up. But it was a good win against Tampa, and I think that's it for Brady.
Yeah, well, the only thing I'm going to say is I think Tampa's offense actually got moving this week, which is something we haven't seen just about all year. I mean, even going back to the Cowboys game, they scored 21, but it didn't really look too effective. So I think I wouldn't be surprised if Tampa Bay came at a little turnaround mid-season, about this time, and started winning more games. You got to think, they're not in a good division. The leader is the Falcons. The Falcons, they don't have a quarterback. They don't really have much of a team. And then it's Tampa Bay, and then it's the Panthers. So it's just, I could definitely see the Bucs still making it to the playoffs as long as Tom Brady, he didn't have a bad performance this week. The run game has to step up. And then defensively, they held what I would say is a very electric offense to only 27, but that's just still too many. What do you think, Jaden?
I think you're completely right, but I also think that Tristan's right. I think he needs to hang it up. Clearly, it's not good enough for him to be playing football still. I mean, even though it's his dream, they really messed up his personal life, and his team isn't really that good, even though I do agree that the Buccaneers are still going to make it out on top in the division, because that division is just, there's nothing going for anybody.
Yeah.
But I think it was mainly the Ravens and their play calling. I think they finally got something going. They finished it out in the fourth quarter for the first time. And Lamar Jackson did really good. He got 2 touchdowns and had a lot of yards for a pretty good passer completion. He went 27 for 38 for 238 yards and 2 touchdowns.
And here's what you got to think is his receivers, which I cannot believe that they traded for Roquan Smith. I mean, yeah, it's going to beef up the defense, going to beef up the linebackers. Give Lamar somebody to throw the football to. He's got Mark Andrews. That's it. That's the only guy he's got. And Mark Andrews, 3 receptions, 33 yards. That's about it on 5 targets.
He got injured.
Top receiver, yeah, he did. Was Isaiah Likely?
Yeah.
He's a rookie. He ended up going for a touchdown. That was his top receiver. You don't have any big names on this team. Get Lamar someone to throw the ball to. I think if they do that, they're going to be set. Roquan, that was a big trade. We'll talk a little bit more about the trades in a little bit. All right, next we're going to move on to the London game, Broncos versus the Jaguars. Got a few questions for y'all.
Okay.
Are the Broncos moving in the right direction?
No. It was, I mean, no, not really. Like, it's both teams are mid. Like, there's really no in between. You know, Jaguars just got rid of their running back, who was, I believe, a really good running back for them, and
James Robinson.
Yeah,
but Travis Etienne's been the starter all year, and he's dominated. Travis Etienne is the bright spot of their whole team.
I like him, but I feel like James Robinson is kind of like, if I had to say it, like another like Kareem Hunt or like Tony Pollard, kind of like he's just he's that good backbone.
Yeah, that's true. He is that good. Like he's kind of like the the NFL is really going to a state where it's like you have 2 starters at the running back position. We're seeing that with the Cowboys. We're seeing that with the Browns. We're seeing that with a lot of teams now, and I think that was a really good thing for them. But
however, for the Broncos, I feel like, I mean, whatever. It's a good win. Like, good job. You beat the London Jags, who are apparently really hard to beat. But other than that, like, I still don't think the Broncos are going to go anywhere this year. I could even say that the Raiders will pass them maybe, but if not, it would be like they probably end with the same record, because in my opinion, I don't think they're doing anything good, especially with all the people that they just got rid of.
That's true. They just got rid of Bradley Chubb. We'll talk about that in a minute as well.
But it's just
I think one thing is the Broncos actually put up 21 points. And I think that is a good sign, even though it was against Jacksonville. But now, here's my other question. What happened to the Jags? Because, the first few weeks, they actually looked like a decent team, and Trevor Lawrence looked like a good quarterback. But these past couple of weeks, he's completely fallen off.
Trevor Lawrence?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But it was a London game. I don't know. I think it would be different if it was a home game, because I feel like Jacksonville actually at home would have beaten the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos barely won a game in London, so it was basically an away. It was a away game for both teams. So those Jags didn't really get that home field advantage. But I feel like if they did, I think they would have won. I don't know. So I agree with Tristan. I don't really think there's anything going for the Denver Broncos.
That's true. But if you look at it, the first 4 weeks, Trevor Lawrence had 8 touchdowns. In the last 4 weeks, he's only had 1 with 4 interceptions against 2 in the first 4 weeks. And it's not like they're playing really good teams. They played Houston, Indianapolis, the Giants. They have a good defense. And then Denver has a pretty good defense as well. But is that something to be concerned about for Jacksonville?
Honestly, I don't know.
Or is it just kind of too early to tell with him since it's only his second year?
Yeah, it's too early to tell. I feel like he still needs another year. I feel like next year it's gonna be like one of those like Tua situations, because Tua's on like the 3rd year, and it's like, all right, is he gonna be good? Is he not gonna be good? And now Tua's doing great in my opinion, but Trevor Lawrence, I think he just needs that one more year of like, all right, let's see, he's our guy.
And he's under a new coaching staff with Doug Peterson, who's done a fabulous job there.
Yeah, and I think Calvin Ridley will be good for them next year too. Mm-hmm. So I mean,
having another receiving threat. Yep, I completely agree with you. All right, now let's move. Tristan, your favorite topic: Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott is officially back. He is the
Yes, sir.
man. Now,
Dak
to be fair,
Prescott is back.
it was against the Chicago Bears.
It was. You were correct. But, I don't think it really matters about the team. I'm just happy that we're getting these wins and we're doing what we're supposed to be doing against these teams, which is basically blowing them out. However, it was weird seeing them score more than one touchdown.
4 touchdowns.
Yeah, that was a little concerning, but the offense turned up when the defense didn't. The defense still had a takeaway fumble and touchdown, and they had a few sacks. They did what they're gonna do, but they could have done better. But if the defense continues to play like they did when Cooper Rush was playing, then I have no problem seeing the Cowboys, win at least one playoff game this year. So it's like, even though it's just the Bears, keep doing what we're doing. We're going into the bye week. Then, coming back, playing against Green Bay Packers in Lambeau, I think we're going to beat them. So it's just like, got to keep pushing until we see the Eagles again December 24th.
Yeah. So talking about the playoffs, Dallas is in a really tough division here. They have Eagles undefeated still. The Giants only have 1 loss. Dallas is 6-2. And
The Giants have 2.
Giants have 2? Okay,
Yeah.
2 losses.
Cowboys are
we
second.
moved up to the second spot.
Okay. So Dallas and Giants have the same amount of losses. The Dallas just has the win over the Giants. And even the Commanders have a .500, 4-4.
4-4. But if we're getting into that, I do think the division is like hard only because of all of like everyone's schedules. The Commanders, I know they're not going to get in it just because with the Giants and Eagles doing so well, it's not going to happen. It's good for them that they're getting wins with Taylor Heineke because I like Heineke more than I like Wentz. But like other than that, the Giants, they're a good team. I love that Saquon Barkley's back. It's making the division look good. I'm tired of being the NFC least. Now we're the NFC beast. It's how football should be. The NFC East was supposed to be like always the best teams. So it's like you're always getting a little bit of a throwback. But Saquon Barkley being back, like I think he's just the only reason why they're doing so good. Daniel Jones is doing his part, but I feel like it is all Saquon, and their defense is doing just enough to get them by. But for the most part, I do think, I could see all 3 teams going to the playoffs.
Yeah, that was my next question.
That's what the NFL is predicting at this point, that Eagles, Cowboys, and Giants are going to go to the playoffs. But, I'm pretty sure, like at this point, the for sure fact is that Eagles are going and the Cowboys are going, and that means the Eagles will probably get the first seed this year just because of their schedule.
Yeah, I could see that.
But do I see them going 17-0? No, I see the Eagles probably ending maybe 15-2, and then Cowboys possibly 14-3.
Yeah, I could see that. I think. In the NFC that we're in, you look at it, the NFC is the best division by far. The North, the Vikings are the only good team. We all know they're going to make the playoffs. The South is horrendous. The Falcons shouldn't even have a .500. They should not be 4-4. They should have lost to the Panthers.
Yeah.
And then the West, Seattle is in the lead right now.
Yeah.
The Rams haven't done anything. The Cardinals, they've looked better since Diop's returned. And then the 49ers. Now, the 49ers, that's an interesting one. I think they're going to end up winning the NFC West.
Yeah, I think it's going to be between the 49ers and the Seahawks. Like, at this point, I just think the Rams are just having that year where, it's like, all right, got a Super Bowl. We've done enough, and now everyone's just kind of on a hangover.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if I had to say like who would come out of there, it's either gonna be Seahawks or 49ers. But right now, it's looking like it might be the 49ers just because of their talent.
Yeah, they're
but
very talented.
I wouldn't be mad either way if the Seahawks came out on top either, or I wouldn't be surprised. Just Gino's doing Gino things.
That's true.
I can see both those teams going into the playoffs, though.
Yeah, I can see both of them. I was right from the very beginning. Gino Smith is that guy.
You were. I'll give you that because I said Drew
Yeah,
Lock.
that's true. That's true. I was also a big Drew Lock man, but that's all right. All right.
Okay.
So let's move on to the Raiders Saints game here. Saints
Man.
dominated 24 to nothing.
That's a W.
My question is, okay, one, Andy Dalton, he's the starter. Like he's the guy for the Saints.
He
That
was
has
the guy
been
for the Cowboys.
known.
So
Kind of, not really. He was mid for the Cowboys, but like not talking about the Cowboys right now. The Saints, you know, I don't know. Derek Carr is just Raiders need a new quarterback in my opinion.
They need a new head coach.
They need a new head coach. I feel like they need a new quarterback. Derek Carr is throwing way too many interceptions, fumbles throughout the season. I mean, that's just what he's been doing. But other than that, Josh Jacobs is great. You have Darren Waller, but he gets injured a lot. You have Devontae Adams now. You have Matt Collins. Like you have weapons. It's not like you should be bad. Like you should be pretty good actually.
Well, I mean, whenever Devontae Adams only gets one reception for 3 yards, you know, it's kind of like
because they're relying too much on the run game now, and the Saints just hold them the entire time. They couldn't get past the 50-yard line.
No, they got past like once all game.
Yeah, that was it.
That was it. But Josh Jacobs,
depressing.
he didn't have a bad game. He was averaging 4.3 yards per carry.
Because he's
Only on
Josh
10
Jacobs.
carries.
You know?
Yeah.
It's just like he's one of the best running backs in the league right now. But I mean, it was such a bad day for the Raiders. I mean, good job to the Saints. You're still not going anywhere, but you know, it's just like,
Hey, they got a shot at the division.
do they really?
Anybody has a shot at that division.
I don't even
The
know.
Carolina
They're not-
Panthers have a shot at that division.
No, they don't. They already have 6 losses.
Don't matter.
Yeah.
The
They
Falcons
would
are
have to
leading
win
it with
every-
4.
They would
The
have to win
Falcons are leading
every
it with
single.
4 losses.
I understand that, but you would have to win if the Panthers were to come out. They would have to win every single game starting now.
I mean, I agree. Is it gonna happen? No way.
No,
But there's a
No.
shot. No, but that's not the thing. It could. It's not going to, but it could. That's what you got to think.
It could, but never
It's
gonna
fine.
happen. I mean, at this point, like I don't even know who's gonna come out of that division.
That's what I'm saying.
The Falcons are
There's no
cheeks.
telling.
The Buccaneers are cheeks. The Saints are cheeks. Honestly, we all know that no one in this division is gonna win a Super Bowl this year, so it doesn't even matter. Like this game is so like irrelevant because it's just one of those games where you turn it on, you're like, "Yo, Raiders might turn it around," and then they're like, "Oh, well, never mind, it's not."
Well, that's my question. Do the Raiders have any shot at anything this year?
I don't know, dude. Like, I want to believe that they can, but they don't have. They're not getting a Super Bowl this year. Like, and if they get to like anything good, it might be like a wild card game. But even then, it's like they're not winning it. It's just
Yeah.
the AFC's too stacked for them to win anything out of that. And especially with the coaching and Derek Carr and all that, it's just I feel like there's no way. Like there's so many teams I would maybe think that they could beat. But right now, like the Titans would beat them, the Ravens would beat them, the Bengals would beat them, the Browns would beat them, the Chargers would beat them, maybe
The Broncos.
maybe
Pittsburgh.
That would be
okay.
a,
Pittsburgh,
no one-
relax.
That'd be
relax.
a punting a punt
Chiefs would
off.
destroy them. I could see the Jets, Dolphins, Bills destroying them. I could see the Patriots destroying them. I don't know. That game was just horrendous itself. It doesn't really matter, to be honest.
That was a hard one to watch. That was a very hard one to watch.
I mean, I have a friend who's a Raiders fan. He said that, he sent me a video of him crying. He was just like, I don't know what to do. He's like, I might be a Cowboys fan soon.
Gosh. All right, let's move to the Washington Commanders against the Indianapolis Colts.
Oh, that's even
17-16.
worse.
Washington won it. My only question here is Sam Ehlinger the guy, or was Matt
Give
Ryan
him another week. That was his first week. Let's
give
calm
him
down.
another week. I like the way Sam Ehlinger played still. Like,
I was
and I
about
think
to
a lot
say,
of
he didn't play bad.
no.
He didn't. He
Colts
played
fans really liked him actually, but Taylor Heineke, I feel like he just has a bit more of that experience, and the Commanders have a few more weapons. But I feel like you give Sam Ellinger a few more weapons, like key names and stuff like that, I mean, I say just give him another week, and I think he could do it.
And I
think he could be a starting quarterback for the Colts.
I think the biggest problem with the Colts is their offensive line, which last year they had the best offensive line, no doubt about it, in football, and it has just gone like this.
Yeah,
Jonathan Taylor. I mean, he didn't play a bad game today. 16 carries for 76 yards. They're finally giving him the ball, which I think they need to do, especially with the guy with no real experience.
Facts.
But it's just they got a problem with the offensive line. Sam Ellinger didn't play a terrible game. Statistically, he looked really good.
Yeah. Let's talk about it. Do you think that if Sam Ellinger starts next week's game, would he beat the Patriots? Honestly, so. Probably not. Probably not, just because Matthew Judon has been popping off, and with that offensive line, that's obviously not going to help him. But man, the Colts schedule is not exactly easy. You have Patriots, you have Raiders, you have Eagles, Steelers, maybe. You have the Cowboys, Vikings, Chargers, Giants.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a rough stretch. I think what they want to do here is they just want to see how he's going to play. And if he wins some of those games, like upsets some of those teams, you might have a stud here. And
hopefully Sam Ellinger can beat the Eagles, because
that would be wild. I think it's just... Honestly, I think they could be the Patriots. I mean, the Bears beat the Patriots. That's what you got to think about. And how they did that is they utilized short plays that turned into big ones. Now, he's not no Justin Fields. He's not very mobile, but I could see it right now. With the NFL how it is, 100%.
But the thing was is that the Bears had a good run team. And the Colts are supposed to have a good run team, but it doesn't really look like it's showing. JT got like 16 carries for like 70-something yards, but no touchdowns. And he also had a fumble, which was kind of crucial. So
yeah, it was very.
I don't know if that was. I don't know if maybe that's just a fluke game, but that's definitely that kind of play. The way they're playing right now,
he's on a fluke season.
Oh no, those are another two teams.
I'll give it to him. His O-line literally gives him nothing. So I mean, it's not completely his fault, but I'd expect him to do a little bit more.
Nah, I blame him.
Because you had him.
But I mean, this is just another game where it's like we're just talking about what these teams need to do to be better, but we both know that they're probably not going to make a run, either of them.
For the Commanders, there's no way.
Yeah, Commanders, there's no way because of the division, and Colts is just, they don't have everything they need. They could. I mean, if they surprisingly just come out of nowhere, but for the most part, I don't think they're going to pass the Titans.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Let's move on to San Francisco against the Rams. 49ers came in there, dominated, as they always do against the Rams in the regular season. I don't know why.
San Fran owns the Rams.
They do, besides in the playoffs.
Yeah, like CMC's been doing good. Jimmy Garoppolo's, I think, going back to his normal form, I guess. Like he's doing good, and I think the team itself they're pretty well rounded, so I think they can make a playoff run. But I think everything just needs to continue clicking, and if they continue to play that they did against the Rams, then yeah, I can see them doing well.
Yeah, last week a little bit we talked about how one player doesn't really make that big of a difference, but I think CMC definitely is one of those exceptions.
He made a passing touchdown, a rushing touchdown, and a catching touchdown. Like what? He did everything pretty much. The only thing he didn't do was kick a field goal and get a fumble. Yeah. Like, I mean, he did everything he could do.
Yeah, no, he did fumble once, but he's the missing link that this team needed.
Yeah.
And defensively, they just got to continue to play like they did against this Rams team. They have a good defense. They just have to keep it up, keep playing as a team, keep doing all of that. And I think they could definitely surpass the Seahawks and get in there, win the division.
Who? Oh, the
All right.
Niners?
Yeah, speaking of the Seahawks, though, are they a top 5 team in the NFC?
In the NFC, yeah.
You think so?
I think so. I mean, I think Pete Carroll and that squad has figured it out. And so you go at home and you play against the 6-1 New York Giants, who have looked on fire. Saquon has been killing it. Mac Jones has been doing pretty good too. So
Daniel.
to go, what was that?
Daniel Jones.
Then who did I say?
You said Mac. You said Mac.
You said Mac Jones.
God, I always do that. I hate that. Daniel Jones, stumbler guy. Yeah, he did pretty good. Riley. I know you've been saying that questioning if he's the guy. I truly do think he's the guy for New York.
Okay. We'll see. He hasn't played terrible this year.
Yeah, we will see. And you see that I was right. I just think the mentality that he has for New York, like, I mean, he has almost every single game with like a bloody hand, and he's still playing. Yeah. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what he's on.
Man's is hurting.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Seahawks are definitely a top 5 team. New York came into Seattle. Seattle's one of the hardest places to play. Held them to only 13 points and dominated offensively against a very tough defense. That's New York's bright spot has been defensively. Also Saquon. Saquon had 20 carries for only 53 yards. This Seahawks team, this reminds me of the Bengals last year. And what I mean by that is they're a team that no one really expects to go far, but they're a team I could see, honestly, in the NFC going to a Super Bowl. And it might sound crazy, but no one thought the Bengals were going to go to the Super Bowl last year. And so I definitely think the Seahawks is a dark horse Super Bowl contender. Geno Smith has been playing phenomenally, way better than Russ did last year.
Oh, well, yeah, but
Kenneth Walker, he has been a stud. This year he was his worst game in his career with 18 carries, 51 yards. Still had a touchdown. You got DK Metcalf. You got Tyler Lockett. You got Noah Fant. And then defensively, you have Kobe Bryant, Quandre Diggs, Tariq Woolen, Jordan Brooks. I don't even know how to say this. I don't even know how to say this guy's name, but he's 5 sacks. And then you got Michael Jackson, who led in tackles this week.
Yes, sir.
They have a good, solid defense and a very surprising offense. So it's gonna be up to them and the 49ers on who wins the division, but I think that both teams will make the playoffs.
Yes, agreed.
All right, now let's move to the Sunday night football game where the Buffalo Bills took on the Green Bay Packers and beat them 27-17.
Aaron Rodgers needs to retire.
Yeah. Well,
either that or go to the Raiders.
Go somewhere else.
Yeah, say he goes to the Raiders. Imagine that'd be crazy.
That would be pretty insane. But my question is Rodgers done after this season?
No. I think he has one more season, but do I see him staying with the Packers? No. But if he doesn't go anywhere during the offseason, then I think, yes, he will retire. And it will be Jordan Love.
That's kind of my thoughts. If Rodgers doesn't leave the Packers this offseason, he will retire.
Yeah.
This could very well be Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers' last season playing in the NFL.
Finally.
Now, what really stood out to me in this game is Josh Allen's performance.
He's baby goat. Better than Patrick Mahomes.
He didn't look like it, is what I was going to say. 13 for 25. He did have 218 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he threw 2 picks. It's just not your normal Josh Allen performance. You know, they still got the win.
But that's the thing. That's what I'm saying, though. It's not a normal Josh Allen performance, but they still dominated.
I know. It's like that's the thing. It's like Josh Allen has his standards so high that it's like, you kidding me? He only threw 13 complete passes for only 2 touchdowns. and only 218 yards.
Gosh,
Who's this guy think he is? Like, are you
this guy
kidding me?
sucks. No, I'm just
I
kidding.
know.
Like, what's like his worst day is his best day. Like, it's not even fair. It makes me mad. Stupid good white boy kid. Like, just oh my god, it's unfair. I can't do anything. There's nothing you can do against the Bills.
I mean, John, the Bills are a super team. They got Hines. I don't really know I don't know why.
It's a weird pick, but it's like,
yeah,
whatever,
I mean,
it's like,
you know,
what else do they need? Here, give me another weapon. Just Josh
true,
Allen's arm hurts for one play. All right, bet here you go. Here,
Yeah.
Naheem Hines right there. It's
Yeah,
like,
so I guess we're going to be seeing another running back.
Yeah.
You think he goes over Singletary?
I don't know. I don't really like Singletary that much, but I mean, I feel like if Hines like has some explosive plays, then yeah, I mean, sure, why not?
Okay, I can see that.
Because I think that's like the one position where the Bills lack, but it doesn't really matter because Josh Allen's arm is so good and you have so many good receivers. It doesn't really matter to them.
And Josh Allen's legs are just so big and strong.
Hey yo, yeah. He could just hurdle people for the most part. Like,
Yeah.
The Bills, I don't know who's gonna beat the Bills in the AFC. Like if I had to pick a few teams, like
Dolphins.
The Dolphins
And the Chiefs.
and the Chiefs.
About the only two that I
mean,
see.
if the Ravens get their crap together, I could see the Ravens possibly doing that. But for the most part, like for them going into the playoffs right now, and they were to go up against a team and lose, it would be Dolphins or Chiefs.
Mm-hmm. I completely agree. I mean, their defense.
The Bills
would
just have to have a really bad day too. It's just, like they're gonna have to have another butt punt.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, it's like their team from top to bottom is just so good. Now defensively, you have Micah
fair.
Hyde out. That's about it. Is Tre'Davious White back yet? No,
yes,
I think
he is back.
He's back now, but he wasn't back
They just
last
activated
game.
him.
Yeah, they just activated him. I remember seeing that. But it's like their defense isn't even fully healthy, and it's this good.
Yeah, they're almost as good as the Cowboys. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, I don't know who like wins the Super Bowl this year, but if it isn't the Bills, it's just like whoever beats them deserves to have it.
Mhm.
It's like it's just there's nothing you can do against this team. They're just too good.
They and it's really they should be 7-0.
Yeah, but I mean the Dolphins just being better than them. It's just like there was nothing you could do against
Name
that.
one position besides wide receiver 2 that the Dolphins are better at them in.
Damn. Yeah, nothing. I mean, maybe. I mean, next week it could be defense, but other than that, probably not. I mean, their defense will be better, but other than that, it's like, yeah, the Bills' defense is fully healthy.
Yeah. The Dolphins. The Dolphins. They got a win, and it was that's the Dolphins took advantage of Buffalo having an off week, and that's what teams have to do.
And it was also really hot. So like the Bills were passing out on the field, literally. Like their offensive line were literally just laying on the floor because they were hot. Yeah, but I mean, for the most part, like if you take Tua into New York basically and put him in a cold game, I don't think they're winning that game. Probably not. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's their next meetup, right? It's gonna be
in Buffalo.
In Buffalo, let's see, what week is that going to be? It's going to be week of December 18th.
So cold.
Yeah,
cold.
Really, really cold. Probably a snowy game.
Yeah, we might see a snowy game.
That's going to be a cool game, though. Imagine Tyreek Hill and Stephon Diggs in a snowy game.
That'll be a good one.
Kind of hard. That
would be hard. You have Hill and Waddle, like the fastest receivers, trying to battle snow, basically.
Yeah. Well, that'd be interesting too because neither of those teams really necessarily have a good run game. So with that snow, how's that going to affect them?
No, I'd say Raheem Mostert.
He's pretty good.
Okay, that's another thing. I think the Dolphins have a better run game than the Bills.
Yeah.
because I think Raheem
We've got a
Mostert,
running back, but Josh
Yeah.
Allen is the run game for the Bills. So
Okay, Josh Allen doesn't count for this. Okay, you have Raheem Mostert, and then they also just picked up what's his name?
Can your running
Jeff
back
Wilson.
Can your running back throw for 300 yards and then run for another 100? Didn't
All
think
right,
so.
bro. Again,
Josh Allen
Josh Allen doesn't count. Okay, we're talking about the actual position. But Dolphins also just picked up Jeff Wilson, and I think he's not crazy, but
No,
he's like an
he's
all right guy.
Yeah, he's all right.
Yeah, like he's a guy that you would want on your team to just rely on. Just kind of
Yeah.
like, all right, he can catch the ball, he can run the ball. He's kind of like another CMC, to be honest, but not like he's not as good as CMC. But like if CMC was like mid, he would be him.
Yeah, there's a reason the 49ers traded him away for CMC.
Yeah.
Like there's a reason for
So-
that, but
But again, it's like I'm not mad about it. Like I mean, the Dolphins don't really. They're another team where they don't really need to run the ball for the most part. Too, it can get the ball to Tyreek and Waddle and Gesicki, and maybe Cedric Wilson. But it's like for the most part, it's like I'm not mad about it. They're stepping up on their defense. Their team is looking good wide receiver wise. I mean, you have the number 1 receiver in the league, and then the number 5 receiver in the league. Like,
yeah, let's talk about the Dolphins here actually against the Lions this week. How do you feel going into halftime?
Going into halftime, I almost wanted to give up on everything. But for the most part, I was like, it's looking like another Ravens situation where it's, that defense is like, okay, where are you? It's like, where's the defense? And then all of a sudden the defense stepped up in the second half, and then Tua did Tua things, and Tyreek did Tyreek things, and Waddle did Waddle things. And they came back. So, I mean, it was a good comeback game, but they got lucky again,
Yeah, I think we can officially say that Tua is back. Dak is back. All these quarterbacks are back.
Yeah.
Tua looked phenomenal. Jared Goff looked phenomenal. A real good quarterback matchup here. Two of the best quarterbacks in the league going at it.
Whoa, what? Hold on, wait. I was like, wait, hold on. What are we talking about right now?
No, but Jared Goff looked like, his week 1 through 4 himself again.
Yeah, he looked like Jared Goff,
So that I think Detroit needs to figure their defense out. That's what they need to do. And also another thing they need to do is give DeAndre Swift the ball.
That could help.
That would probably help just a little bit, not too much, but just a little bit. Maybe.
Like, don't get me wrong, Jamal Williams is a good running back, but DeAndre Swift is a great running back. Okay, I wouldn't go that far, but Detroit's another one of those teams that it has those 2 starting running backs. You have DeAndre Swift and you have Jamal Williams. And Swift, he was active in the air, caught a touchdown pass. It's just, wait, what?
What happened?
Jared Goff caught a ball for 5 yards.
Nice.
But no one passed it. It was just, he was the only passer.
So
He threw it to himself.
Did he pass it to himself?
Maybe he threw it. It got batted down. He caught it again.
He caught it and
then,
ran.
Yeah.
Whoa,
ran.
that's I did not realize that. Oh man,
I'm gonna need to see a play on this real quick.
How do y'all feel about Tua having the best passer rating in the NFL right now at 112.7?
Well, Tua's a good quarterback. What can I say?
Do you think Tua would be in top 5 right now for most touchdowns if he didn't get injured?
Mm-hmm.
I think so too. I think he would be above Joe Burrow at top 3 with Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen.
They got batted, and it went right back to him, and then he just ran it.
That's
for 5
awesome,
yards.
dude.
I was
That
like,
is
I
awesome.
think that's the only thing I could think of.
I also think that the Dolphins are 6 and is it 6 or already 7? 7-1.
Oh yeah, you think I agree.
Yeah,
I
I think
think
they would've been
Dolphins
7-1
also
with
be
Tua.
7-1.
I don't know, maybe 6-2 depending on the Vikings game, but still, they had home field advantage. The Vikings were dying out there. I think they would have won that game if they had Tua.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, that duo is insane.
It's just unfair.
It really is. You have
like if we have Tyreek and Waddle for the next 4 years, like Dolphins are bound to get a Super Bowl.
There's a Super Bowl coming for the Dolphins. Like
it's like there's nothing like if you had Tyreek and Waddle for the next 4 years and you just step up on that defense and Tua just continues to ball out the way he has been, like bro, that's a Super Bowl team. It's like they're gonna be just like the Bills. It's just like what can you do against them? But that's gonna be a great matchup to see for the next couple of years, just to see the Bills and Dolphins battle it out. Like a true division rivalry.
Well, let's see. So, yeah, I mean, you're going to have him for the next 3 years at least. Tyreek's on a 4-year. Well, Tyreek's on a 4-year.
Well, say less. That's why I bought a jersey, Just like...
so, I mean, it is, everyone was making so much fun of Tua this offseason.
Trust me, I know. And I was like, just wait.
Proven the haters wrong. This guy is...
Yeah, they proved everyone else in the podcast wrong except for me. No.
Top 8 quarterback
in top 5. What? Hold on. What?
Insane. All right, now let's go.
What would you say your top 5 quarterbacks are then? Like not like ranking them specifically, but like who would they be?
Give me a sec.
Like me personally, I would have Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Tua, and probably Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, my top 5. I'm just gonna have to be Josh Allen, then Pat Mahomes. Those are your top 2 right there, no matter what.
Yeah.
Hurts has played really well. So has Tua, though. I think I'm gonna have to go with Tua at 3.
Yeah.
Lamar he was really impressive the first few weeks. I think he's kind of fallen off a little bit. And Hurts is leading his team to an undefeated record now. I'm gonna have to put Hurts above him and then Lamar 5.
Okay. Yeah, that's a respectable list.
Jaden, what about you?
I think it's pretty obvious. Josh, Patty, top 2. That's like you said. But I'm going to have to disagree with Tua being 4 because I don't see how Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown, or Jalen Hurts is throwing these dots to A.J. Brown for 3 touchdowns and is absolutely killing it for 7 games in a row. So,
well, no, he said Tua was at 3.
I said Tua was at 3 personally.
Yeah. So would you just switch them? Would you say that it would be Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, Lamar, and then Tua?
No, Tua then Lamar.
Okay.
I wouldn't even consider Lamar in my top 5 though, because considering how he's played in fourth quarter, I feel like finishing games is dynamic.
Who's going to be your 5th one then, though?
I mean, if I had to think of another quarterback,
statistically, Geno.
Yeah,
Geno statistically has been very good. I can see him being. Yeah, no, I can definitely see him at 5.
Can you consider Kirk Cousins? Nah, he's like he's top 8.
Yeah, he's a good quarterback. I think he's done good, but I don't think
because that's such a tough discussion right now. Because you have Dak who's back. He's been playing pretty well. You have Geno, you have Kirk Cousins, you still have Joe Burrow, even though he's getting murked every week in the pocket. I mean, yeah, I would say the best quarterbacks in the league right now are Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Tua, Dak Prescott, Jalen Hurts, Geno, and Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, I can see it. I mean, I think I don't know. I think Burrow needs to. Okay, let me reevaluate. All right, so Josh Allen's number 1, Patrick Mahomes is number 2. That's just how it is. All right.
Yeah.
Then I think if Tua doesn't get injured, his stats line up a lot better than they do right now. So I'm still having him at 3. But I think I'm going to have to go Burrow and then Hurts. because even with their record, Joe Burrow's still playing amazing. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think Hurts and Burrow are interchangeable though. But Burrow's he's been a lot better. Well, this is tough. This really is. I'm gonna go Hurts at 4, Burrow at 5, just because Hurts is so good on the ground. But Burrow still looked pretty damn good. So
Yeah.
Not against
talking about Joe Burrow,
the Bears game.
Let's move on to the Browns
Monday
Bengals
night.
game. Monday Night Football. Cleveland
Last subject
owns
for James.
Joe Burrow.
Oh God, that's pretty much it. Joe Burrow and the Bengals. Yeah, it's just a bad game for them.
No, I mean, but Joe still did all right. He didn't do too bad.
He's still all right. What makes me upset is that he keeps throwing it to Hurst instead of his, basically better wide receivers, Tyler Boyd or Higgins.
Mm-hmm.
Like what? Like you literally saw the way Higgins got that touchdown. He literally went over him. Like why do you keep throwing it to your tight end who's not bad, but it's just like give your receivers a chance. Those are your playmakers. Like what are you doing? You also have Joe Mixon. Like get him involved.
He had 7 receptions.
Yeah,
only
Joe
for 32
Mixon,
yards.
It was mainly. I felt like the entire game was mainly a Joe Mixon and Hurst game for some reason. I don't know why. It was just like they kept doing play option. It was really obnoxious to watch.
Yeah,
to be honest.
I think. Well, I'll tell you right now why this Bengals lost. Joe Burrow got sacked 5 times for a loss of 39 yards, and Joe Mixon couldn't move the ball. Offensively, the O-line underperformed. They were supposed to come in here and be completely different than last year, and that has not changed at all. The O-line still is not good, and they're not. See, last year was their only shot at going and winning the Super Bowl. The AFC is too tough. They're not going to get any more of those shots like that. Like that was a once in a lifetime thing for them. Now, if the AFC gets worse, I could see it. But then also defensively, you let Jacoby Brissett put 32 on you. Don't get me wrong, most of it's Nick Chubb, who's the best running back in the league. Let me just say that real quick. Amari Cooper balled out. Devon Peoples-Jones, Kareem Hunt. I mean, all of them. It's just Cleveland, whenever they get moving, is a good football team. And whenever Deshaun comes back, I think that they are going to have a real shot next year at the playoffs.
Yeah. I can see that. I mean, I also like Jacoby Brissett. I mean, is he a playoff quarterback? No. But, I mean, we still need to see how Deshaun plays when he comes back week 11.
That's true. That's true. I mean, my thing is as long as the Browns see their division is good, but at the same time it's not. Like it's a good division. You got the Ravens, you got the Bengals, and then Cleveland. The Steelers, they're not good. They're not going anywhere. I think if Cleveland can hold on until week 11, they actually could have a shot at winning. I said this last week. I think I also disagreed with myself last week, but I don't know. It's gonna be an interesting season for Browns fans out there. Probably a sad season.
I mean, it's going to be like another Cooper Rush situation. Like if, Jacoby Brissett just balled out the rest of the season until Deshaun Watson gets there. I mean, shoot, Deshaun Watson could take them to the playoffs.
Yeah, but the next 3 weeks are the Dolphins, Bills. That's it, actually. I think we beat the Bucks.
Yeah, never mind. The Brown season is over.
So that'll be 7 losses. We can go 10-7 still, as long as we win out.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they beat the Dolphins, but that would have to just be because Nick Chubb does Nick Chubb things, and
when we hand the ball off to Nick Chubb, we win games. We should have beat the Jets. We should have beat the Falcons. We should have beat the Chargers. The Patriots, we lost that one. Oh. All right, now for our final segment here with the weekly news. Today has been one crazy day with the trade deadline hitting. We're going to start off. Tristan, how do you feel about that Bradley Chubb trade?
Amazing. Dolphins to the Super Bowl.
That really shows you that they're in contender mode right there.
Yeah.
They are ready to go out, beefing up their defense. They are. How much?
Beefing up the defense. They got the running game. It's just, I think, once they get that defense under control, I think they're a Super Bowl team.
I mean, I think they've been a contender for all season now, as long as
Yeah.
Tua is healthy. You also had a few other trades. Chase Claypool went to the Bears for a second-round pick. That was
Interesting.
Chase Claypool goes to the Bears for a second-round pick, but the Browns take Amari Cooper for a fifth.
Shh.
Wild.
Don't bring that up.
Absolutely wild.
That's the past.
But it's affecting the future. I think the biggest trade the first big trade we saw today was T.J. Hawkinson going to the Vikings. That was a surprising one considering the Vikings are in their division. Jaden, as a Lions fan, how do you feel about that one?
Pretty bad, huh?
Depressed.
Good. Stupid Lions fan. But anyways, T.J. Hawkinson is going to be great for the Vikings. That's honestly really good for them.
Another weapon for Kirk.
I want to ask you a question. What do you feel about Kadarius Toney going to Chiefs? You think that's going to do anything?
I thought it was a good move, personally.
I thought it was a good move, but Kadarius Toney needs to stay healthy.
He needs to stay healthy. He needs to, play football.
Yeah.
But I think healthy him with Patrick Mahomes, it's going to be some great stuff there. I think it's just another weapon for him. Out of all the weapons he's got, nothing's going to replace Tyreek Hill, but Kadarius Toney, he's he's a lot of talent. He has a lot of raw talent.
Yeah, I think you get him and Juju going. Those are your two main guys right there.
Mm-hmm. And then you still got Travis Kelce, best tight end in the league.
That's facts.
We also had Robert Quinn get traded to the Eagles earlier this week. Big move by the Eagles. Robert Quinn, he hasn't been doing as good as he did this year.
Yeah.
But still, I think the Eagles are in win now mode. They're looking for a Super Bowl. They're undefeated.
Yeah,
I think it's a good move.
It's such a shame because the Cowboys are going to be the ones that take them out. But it's fine.
All right, we'll see about that.
I don't know. I just still think that the Eagles are a fluke team. I think
so?
they're great. I think they're a good team, but it's just their schedule's so freaking easy. It's like it's crazy their schedule. And here, let's just look at their games. Like you have the Eagles. They've beaten the Steelers. They beat the Cowboys with a backup quarterback. They beat the Cardinals, who haven't been doing so well in a no D-Hop situation. They beat the Jags, who aren't doing so well. They beat the Commanders. The Vikings, I'll give them that. It was a good game.
Mm-hmm.
The Lions, again,
that was one of that was when the Lions had the number one offense in the league, though.
Exactly, and it's but the thing is the Lions also had the last defense in the league, so it's all the games that they've had has been super easy games, other than I'd say the Vikings, and it's it's the same way with the Lions playing the Cowboys. The Lions put the Cowboys and they put up a decent amount of points, but we still won. It's just the Cowboys, I feel like are their only good matchup in their schedule. Titans could hopefully do something, and then the Eagles play the Giants again, and then they play us again, and then the Giants. But
I think the Titans, Giants, Cowboys are the only games that anyone should be worried about. This team could really, they could go undefeated.
They could, but can they? Realistically though, probably not.
I think they go 15-2. Their only losses being to the Cowboys and to the Giants.
I say that I don't know who the second game they're gonna lose. I know they're gonna lose to the Cowboys. They're not gonna beat them at home with especially if we get James Washington back and Tyron Smith by then. What are you gonna do? It's just if you think about it, I want to ask y'all this: if the Cowboys had their team that they had now, even without James Washington and without Tyron Smith, do you think that with Dak we would have beaten the Eagles in Philly? Because I think so. I don't think Dak would have thrown an interception that game, and if he did, maybe one. Not three.
Yeah, probably would have.
So, I mean, again, I think that the Eagles and the Cowboys are going to be the ones that come out of those divisions, hot. But right now, I mean, Roquan Smith is like cool. You got another defensive player. He's going to do great. Your defense is already looking super good. But, I don't think it's going to that one player isn't going to push you to the Super Bowl. Like, I don't see them going past the first round, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That's just me.
I don't know. We'll have to see. I mean, that's why they're beefing their defense up, is because that's where they struggled.
First round won't even matter because they're probably going to get the bye week due to their schedule. So it's like
that's true.
Yeah, nothing you can do.
So, they're playing in a bad NFC.
Yeah.
So, and they're only going to get better from here on out. And they added Robert Quinn, and defensively, that's where they've struggled. Offensively, they've been fine. So, I don't know. We'll just have to see how they play.
At this point, if the Cowboys or the Eagles are going to do anything, it's going to be this year. Like, this is the year where it's like, and I'm not like saying it as a Cowboys fan, like, oh yeah, this is our year, but it's like, Eagles or Cowboys, this is your year. You have the defense, you have the offense,
and you have a bad NFC.
Yeah, and you have a bad NFC. Your whole division's doing good. You're going to have to battle through that. But other than that, you have the chance to go out there, go to the playoffs, or win a few games, and then win a Super Bowl if possible. If the Bills are there, probably not. But, other than that, like, this is y'all's year to freaking do something. You got really lucky with a bad NFC. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much it for all the trades.
You also had Calvin Ridley.
That's what I was gonna say. I was like, you have Calvin Ridley, but I love Calvin Ridley. He's a great receiver, but I don't think we'll know how that's gonna be until next year.
Did you see the conditions for his draft pick?
What was it?
So I think it was originally a 5th round, but like if he plays by a certain date, it goes up, and then if he hits certain gets certain accomplishments or whatever, I don't know what they're called, it goes up, and then if he gets signed, like re-signed to the Jags, it's a 2nd. So it starts at a 5th and go all the way up to a 2nd round pick.
That's so weird.
It's really weird. It's a lot of stuff. Like, so the Jags, or the Falcons don't even know what they're going to be getting.
Yeah, the Falcons are like, all right, if he does really good, we expect something from you guys. Like, what?
Yeah.
Okay, I guess.
Yeah. Also, another funny thing is one of the games he betted on was the Falcons versus the Jags.
Yeah, that was amazing.
I thought that was pretty funny.
But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it.
I think that is it for our weekly news. I think so. All right. Thank y'all for tuning in. We'll see y'all next week. Have a good rest of your day.